Hey gang, welcome to episode 10 of the FSA Periscope broadcast. This week we're going to be bringing you information around the NFL and FSA. This week we're going to bring you NFL coaching changes, NFL team relocations, NFL wildcard playoff information, and some Fantasy Sports Alliance 2016 news. So we're going to get right at it. Usually we start this show, or we usually do the show on a Wednesday. Decided to wait a day to do it, to compile some more information. We're glad that we did. Bunch of big announcements as far as NFL coaches go. San Francisco has hired former Eagles head coach Chip Kelly. I think it's a good fit right there. You know, originally everybody was thinking what's going to happen with San Francisco's quarterbacks. I think both the quarterbacks, Kaepernick, are better than what Chip Kelly had with Sam Bradford in Philadelphia. So rather than see Kaepernick go anywhere, I say he stays in San Francisco now that Chip Kelly's there. So originally, or at least a day ago, Giants former head coach Tom Coughlin had his name in for possible head coach position for the Eagles to replace Chip Kelly. He removed his name from the list today, and just about an hour ago, news came out that the Eagles have found a new head coach in Kansas City. They've hired their Kansas City's offensive coordinator, Doug Peterson, so he's going to be the new head coach of the Eagles. More hirings. Giants hire within, and they promote offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo. He is now going to be the head coach in New York. And Tampa Bay came out about an hour ago and hired within as well, and they named offensive coordinator Dirk Koetter as the new head coach. So another move, offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson from Cincinnati has taken over Cleveland Browns' position as their head coach. One of the things that was a stipulation of whether he would sign on as the head coach or not was he said he did not want Manziel as part of the equation. So Manziel is left floating right now. Another big hiring is Adam Gase, Chicago's offensive coordinator, is going to Miami. I've been wondering when he was going to finally sign that contract as a head coach. He's had the opportunity a couple different places. I think the most recent ones with Cleveland. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall a little bit more than everybody else did, saw the troubles that Cleveland was going to have and decided not to go there. So now he's in Miami. My personal opinion, maybe he just wanted the warmer weather, and you can't really blame him for that. So another hiring. Last year, Rob Ryan was the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. He gets let go mid to late season. There was some talk of whether he would show up with Rex when he was in with the Jets, and he said probably not going to happen. So Rex in the offseason moves to Buffalo. We're at the end of the first year with Rex in Buffalo, and now most recently Rob Ryan has been hired on as the defensive coordinator in Buffalo. So the Rex and Rob Ryan are back together. Joining them will be Ed Reed, which is the former Baltimore Ravens player. He is now going to be the assistant defensive backs coach in Buffalo, so it should be a good fit for him there. And the one coaching position that is still open right now is Tennessee. Nothing has come out about that one, so maybe the next day or so we'll hear something about that. So now moving on to NFL team relocations. Everybody's probably heard about it now. All the applications were put in by San Diego, Oakland, and St. Louis to move to LA. The teams voted 30-2 in favor of the Rams moving back to LA. Chargers now have 2 months to decide if they want to join them in LA or not. If they do, Oakland becomes the big loser in all of this. Big fan base being drawn away from them and everything like that. The new rumor is that Oakland might move to San Antonio if that happens. And if you saw some earlier this season, we were putting out our NFL graphic expansion project. San Antonio was one of the first places that we thought we would relocate if we were to do an expansion. LA was another one. And then another one that came up in an article this afternoon, 5 expansion cities the NFL would move into right away if they had the opportunity to. San Diego was number 1. So you think about it, they're already seeing the writing on the wall saying San Diego's probably going to go to LA. Number 2 is Toronto. Interesting thing there is Toronto was part of our graphic expansion project as well. Number 3, London. Now, I know we have this contract to be able to continue playing in London for the next couple of years. I still don't see it as a fit for the NFL. Number 4, St. Louis. Get a team back in there as quick as you can. And then number 5 is San Antonio. So if the Chargers decline to move to LA, Oakland might look to go back into LA now. So a couple interesting things going on there, so keep your eyes open to that. So now we're going to go into the NFL playoffs. Not a big surprise as we're getting ready to go into round 2. A couple things to mention from this past weekend. Most interesting thing that happened during Wild Card Weekend is for the first time in NFL history, all of the road teams won this past weekend. On the AFC side of the ball, Steelers win 18-16 due to some late game shenanigans by the Bengals, which resulted in 2 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Because of these shenanigans, Vontae Burfict, I hate that guy's name. I don't like him as a player either. Was suspended for the first 3 games of 2016. Staying on the AFC side of the ball, Chiefs blanked the Texans 30-0. My personal opinion, Texas didn't need to be in the playoffs this year. Jets should have been there instead. NFC side of the ball, Seahawks squeaked by the Vikings 10-9 due to a missed field goal by Minnesota kicker Blair Walsh. 27-yard field goal, actually shorter than the extra points are this year. Maybe not his fault. Some people were complaining or saying that the lasers were turned in on Blair. If you actually paid attention to the broadcast earlier in the day, that's the way Blair likes the ball. He likes laces towards him. So that did not cause him to miss the kick. Maybe the temperature did, though. Temperature at Minnesota Stadium reached lows of -7 during the game. So stay in the NFC, the second game this past weekend. It took a while to get the Packers going, but they end up defeating the Redskins 35-18. So the next round on the AFC side, the Chiefs will face the Patriots. Steelers will face the Broncos. On the NFC side, Packers will face the Cardinals, and the Seahawks will face the Panthers. Chiefs will be at New England on Saturday with a start time of 4:35 East Coast time, followed by the Packers at Arizona, 8:15 East Coast time. Sunday, Seattle plays in Carolina starting at 1:05 East Coast time, and the Steelers will wrap up the divisional round at 4:40 East Coast time in Denver. So that ends all of the NFL news for the week. We're going to talk a little bit about the FSA 2016. So officially we're going to end the 2015 season the day after Super Bowl 50. We're going to take about a 3-week break, and then the 2016 season will pick up 1 March. For those of you who have shown interest to be participants in the 2016 season, between now and Super Bowl time, expect some emails, reference some contests that we're going to run next year, membership incentives for 2016, and some of the framework that we're going to be putting together. Reference the number of regions we're going to have, the number of teams we're going to have, the way the rosters are going to be built next year, starting lineups and scoring systems. So keep your eyes peeled to your emails for that. That ends this week's show.